You cannot wait until the picture is clear before you start declaring victory. You cannot sit back and hope that things will magically fall into place before you decide who you are and what you will accomplish. Winners open their mouths in the dark and declare light. You've got to train your tongue to line up with your vision. There are mornings when you will wake up and everything in you will want to complain. There will be days when your reflection will try to remind you of your failures instead of your potential. That's when you have to dig deep and speak life into yourself. Declare, I'm going to win, even when losing seems easier to believe. Your words carry weight, and they can either trap you or free you. When you consistently say, I'm tired, I can't do this, I'll never make it, your spirit believes you. But when you speak with authority, when you repeat with conviction, I will overcome, I will push through, I will succeed, your life begins to shift. You must understand that victory is not seen with the eyes first, it is spoken with the mouth. Your declaration is a seed, and though it may not sprout immediately, it will produce in time. You don't speak for the moment, you speak for the manifestation. Some people will think you're crazy for saying things you can't yet see. They will laugh when you call yourself victorious while you're still struggling. But winners don't talk like the crowd. They talk like the crown is already theirs. Speak in alignment with where you're going, not where you are. When life presses you, your mouth has to become your weapon. That's why declarations are critical, because your words are the first battle you fight every morning. If you can't convince yourself, you'll never convince life. So you wake up, no matter what you feel, and you declare, I'm going to win. And you don't whisper it. You say it loud enough for your fear to hear it, loud enough for your doubt to hear it, loud enough for your weakness to hear it, because winners speak victory before they see it. Every time you push against resistance, something inside you stretches. You cannot grow without pain, and you cannot become strong without pressure. Pain is not the punishment, it's the process. It's not proof that you're failing, it's proof that you're stretching into something greater than you've ever been. Think about it. When you work out, your muscles ache, not because you're getting weaker, but because they're breaking down to rebuild stronger. Life works the same way. Every painful season is tearing down something in you so that something greater can emerge. You may cry in the middle of the night. You may wonder why you're going through this. But understand this, winners don't avoid pain, they embrace it. They let the discomfort teach them discipline, teach them patience, teach them resilience. Most people see pain as a stop sign. They quit when it hurts. But winners see pain as a green light. They recognize that if it hurts, it means they're still in the game, still alive, still moving, still growing. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is your instructor. It's showing you where you need to strengthen, where you need to focus, where you need to sharpen. If you can change your relationship with pain, you can change your entire destiny. When the ache shows up, when the weight feels too heavy, tell yourself, this pain is proof that I'm on the path to greatness. It means you're not stuck, you're not stagnant, you're in motion. The very thing you're trying to avoid may be the very thing that will push you into your breakthrough. Pain is the evidence that something powerful is being born in you, and the ones who learn how to endure it are the ones who win. If you sit around waiting for every detail to align, you'll spend your whole life waiting. The truth is, nothing will ever be perfect. Life is messy, unpredictable, and complicated. Winners don't wait for the storm to pass. They learn how to run in the rain. Too many people delay their dreams because they're waiting for the right time. They tell themselves, when I have more money, when I have more support, when I feel more ready, then I'll start. But the winners know that the right time is now. The right time is always now. Look back at anyone who ever did something great. None of them started with perfect conditions. They started broke, they started scared, they started unprepared, but they started anyway. That's the difference between those who dream and those who win. If you're waiting for permission, if you're waiting for the sign, you'll never move. Life won't roll out a red carpet for your destiny. You have to create momentum in the mess. Every delay builds hesitation. Every hesitation builds regret, and regret is the heaviest weight you'll ever carry. But action, imperfect, messy action, will move you forward. Winners know that starting where you are is better than waiting where you are. They take what they have, no matter how little, and put it into motion. Small steps, shaky steps, but steps nonetheless. It doesn't matter if the conditions are ugly. What matters is that you decide. The winner's mindset says, I'm not waiting for perfect. I'm moving with faith. I'm moving with grit. I'm moving right now. Everybody gets knocked down. Everybody stumbles. Everybody fails. But not everybody gets back up. That's where the line between winners and losers is drawn. Winners refuse to stay down. You will face moments that feel like the end. You will hear voices, internal and external, telling you to give it up, walk away, stop fighting. But winners are the ones who shake their heads and say, I'm not done yet. Refusing to quit means redefining what failure means to you. It means failure is not the final chapter, but just a comma in your story. It means setbacks are setups for the comeback you've been preparing for. The crowd celebrates the victory, but the true glory is in the perseverance. Champions are made not on the stage, but in the silent moments where they decide over and over not to quit. You may crawl some days, you may limp, you may be bruised, battered, and bleeding, but if you can still breathe, you can still battle. Quitting is the only true defeat. Every scar you carry is not a mark of shame. It's a badge of resilience. It's proof that life hit you hard, but not hard enough to stop you. Every scar says, I survived. Refusing to quit doesn't guarantee an easy journey, but it guarantees you'll keep moving forward. And as long as you're moving forward, victory is still within your reach. Talent can get you noticed, but discipline will keep you respected. You can be the most gifted person in the room, but if you don't have consistency, if you don't have structure, if you don't have discipline, that talent will eventually fade. Winners are not the ones who just rely on their natural ability. They are the ones who master the art of showing up every single day, whether they feel like it or not. Discipline is what separates dreamers from doers. Everyone has dreams, everyone has goals, but not everyone has the commitment to wake up early, to put in the work, to sacrifice the comfort for the calling. You don't rise to the level of your talent, you rise to the level of your discipline. The truth is, talent will betray you if you lean on it alone. There are thousands of people with raw ability who never made it to their destiny because they didn't have the discipline to harness that ability. Discipline says, I'll keep practicing even when no one is watching. I'll stay focused when distractions come. I'll stick to the plan even when it's inconvenient. Think about the greats. The difference wasn't that they were born extraordinary, it was that they were willing to do what others refused to do. Discipline is waking up before the world wakes up. Discipline is staying late when others have already gone home. Discipline is saying no to the easy path so you can walk the path that leads to greatness. Talent may open the door, but discipline keeps you inside the room. Discipline makes sure that when opportunity shows up, you're prepared to seize it. Without discipline, opportunities will slip through your fingers, and life doesn't always give you second chances. When you're disciplined, you don't chase motivation because you understand motivation comes and goes. Discipline is stronger than motivation. Discipline is doing it tired, doing it discouraged, doing it even when you don't see results yet. Discipline builds character, and character sustains victory. Discipline is the hidden grind behind every visible success. The crowd may cheer the talent, but the victory belongs to discipline. The quiet hours, the sacrifices, the relentless consistency, that's what turns ordinary people into champions. Life has a way of trying to convince you that where you are is who you are. It will whisper that your background defines your boundaries, that your struggle defines your story, that your environment defines your ending. But winners understand that circumstances are conditions, not conclusions. You can be in a storm without becoming the storm. Too many people get trapped because they start to believe that the labels people throw at them are permanent. They let poverty convince them they will never prosper. They let failure convince them they will never rise. They let rejection convince them they will never be chosen. But your current state is not your final state. What you're living in now is temporary, but what's inside you is eternal. You must see yourself through a different lens, not through the lens of where you came from, not through the lens of what you've lost, but through the lens of who you were created to be. If you define yourself only by your environment, you will always shrink to the size of your surroundings. But when you see yourself as bigger, when you recognize that your value doesn't change because of your situation, you begin to rise above it. Circumstances are loud, and they try to drown out your vision. They scream, "You can't." They shout, "You'll never make it." But the winner silences those voices with a louder declaration, "I am more. I am capable. I am destined." When you carry that kind of mindset, your circumstances stop being chains and start becoming stepping stones. Think about the most successful people in history. Very few of them started in ideal conditions. Many of them were overlooked, underestimated, counted out. But they refused to let their starting place determine their finishing place. They saw themselves as more than what was around them, and that vision pulled them into new levels. If you only look at your situation, you will always settle. You will accept less because you think less is all you deserve. But the moment you begin to see yourself as more, your posture changes, your decisions change, your hunger changes. You stop tolerating environments that suffocate your destiny. You stop letting conditions decide your confidence. When you see yourself as more than your circumstances, you unlock the ability to fight for a life beyond them. Your perspective shifts from "I'm stuck" to "I'm rising." You recognize that while you may be surrounded by limits, you yourself are limitless, and that belief fuels the journey forward. Fear is not always a signal to stop. Sometimes it's a sign that you're on the right track. Fear shows up when you're about to step into the territory you've never been in before. It rises when you're stretching beyond your comfort zone. And while most people let fear paralyze them, winners learn how to let fear propel them. When you feel fear, it means you're close to something significant. If you weren't about to do something great, fear wouldn't even bother showing up. Fear doesn't chase people who are standing still. It chases those who are moving toward change. That trembling in your chest, that nervousness before the big step, that's not weakness, that's energy waiting to be harnessed. Fear has two paths. It can freeze you or it can fuel you. It can hold you hostage, or it can ignite your courage. The difference is not in the fear itself, but in how you choose to respond. Winners feel fear just like everyone else, but they refuse to let it dictate their actions. They step forward with shaky hands, racing hearts, and trembling voices, but they step forward nonetheless. Every breakthrough comes with a dose of fear. The bigger the opportunity, the louder fear will scream. But instead of treating fear like an enemy, treat it like a compass. If it scares you, it probably matters. If it shakes you, it probably has the power to shape you. Fear keeps you sharp. It forces you to prepare. It pushes you to pay attention, to give your all, to stay alert. Winners don't waste energy trying to eliminate fear. They learn to run with it, to channel it, to turn that adrenaline into momentum. Think about it. The same feeling that can stop someone from trying can also push someone to succeed. The exact same fear that makes one person hide can make another person fight harder. It all depends on perspective. Fear is proof that you're alive, that you're moving, that you're stretching into new levels. It is not there to destroy you. It is there to drive you if you're willing to let it become your fuel. The people around you are either fueling your fire or draining your flame. Winners are intentional about their circle because they know energy is contagious. You cannot hang around cold, complacent, negative people and expect to burn with passion. If you want to win, you need people around you who carry heat, who radiate energy, who ignite something in you when you're running low. Look at your circle and ask yourself, are they pushing me forward or pulling me back? Do they challenge me to be better, or do they make it easy for me to stay the same? You can't afford to walk with people who keep you comfortable in mediocrity. Winners know that their environment shapes their elevation, so they build a circle that reflects where they're going, not where they've been. When you surround yourself with fire, excuses burn away. People who carry fire won't let you sit in pity, won't let you settle, won't let you shrink. They will remind you of who you are when you forget. They will hold you accountable when you try to slack off. That's why winners are careful about who gets close to them, because not everyone deserves a front row seat to your destiny. Fire attracts fire. When you're connected to people who are burning with vision, their heat spreads to you. You find yourself dreaming bigger, working harder, believing stronger, because their fire fans your flame. That's the kind of circle you need. People who refuse to let your light go dim. And let's be real, sometimes it's not about adding people, it's about removing people. You can't carry dead weight and expect to run fast. Some people don't belong in your next season. Some relationships can't handle the heat you're stepping into. Winners aren't afraid to let go of what cools their flame. Your circle is either a ceiling or a platform. The wrong people will limit you, keep you small, keep you stuck. The right people will lift you and support you, stretch you, and believe in you, even when you doubt yourself. That's why surrounding yourself with fire isn't optional, it's survival. When you choose to surround yourself with fire, you create an atmosphere where winning becomes normal. The conversations shift, the energy rises, the standards climb, and before long, you're not just surviving, you're burning brighter than you ever imagined. Doubt will always be loud, but faith doesn't need volume to be powerful. Faith whispers in the storm, keep going. Faith tells you that what you can't see is already on the way. Winners are not people who never hear doubt. They are people who choose to let faith speak louder than the doubt that tries to drown them. Every time you're about to step into something bigger, doubt shows up to question you. It says, what if you fail? What if you're not enough? What if you lose everything? But faith answers, what if I win? What if this is the breakthrough? What if I was born for this moment? Faith doesn't ignore doubt. It overrides it. Faith is the ability to see victory before it shows up. It's walking toward the promise while your surroundings still look like a desert. It's trusting that the unseen is more real than the seen. Winners don't wait for proof before they move. They move because faith tells them the proof will come. Doubt looks at circumstances, but faith looks at destiny. Doubt looks at the size of the mountain, but faith looks at the strength within you to climb it. Doubt magnifies obstacles, but faith magnifies possibility. That's why winners choose faith, not because the obstacles disappear, but because faith gives them the courage to face them head on. You don't need faith for the easy things. You need faith for the impossible things. Faith is what carries you when logic says you're finished. Faith is what pushes you when strength runs out. Faith is what keeps you standing when the ground beneath you feels shaky. And let me tell you this, faith grows in motion. The more you step out, the more your faith expands. The more you act, the stronger it becomes. Doubt wants you paralyzed, but faith comes alive when you move. That's why winners don't sit still waiting for certainty. They walk into the unknown with faith as their guide. Choosing faith over doubt doesn't mean you'll never feel fear or uncertainty. It means you decide that your belief in what's possible is stronger than your fear of what could go wrong. It means every time doubt shows up, you let faith take the driver's seat and push you further into your purpose. Everybody wants the prize, but not everybody wants the process. The truth is, winning doesn't happen overnight. Champions are not crowned in a day. They're molded in the unseen hours, the waiting seasons, the slow grind that feels like nothing is happening. Patience is not weakness. It's the discipline of trusting the process even when the results don't show up yet. The hardest part about patience is silence. It's those seasons where you're working, you're praying, you're pushing, and yet nothing seems to change. You start questioning yourself, questioning your path, questioning your worth. But winners know that silence is not absence, it's preparation. Just because you don't see growth doesn't mean it isn't happening. Seeds grow roots before they grow fruit. Patience is the bridge between preparation and promise. If you try to rush it, you'll end up breaking it. If you plant a seed and dig it up every day to see if it's growing, you'll kill it. You have to let time do its work. Winners don't just plant the seed, they protect it, they water it, and they wait for the season to shift. Impatience will trick you into abandoning what's actually working. It will whisper, "It's not happening fast enough. Take a shortcut, try something easier." But every shortcut has a cost, and it's usually your destiny. Winners understand that what is built fast rarely lasts, but what is built with patience can stand the storms. Waiting is not wasted time, it's working time. It's the space where your character matures, where your resilience strengthens, where your vision becomes sharper. Without patience, even if you get what you want, you won't be ready to handle it. Patience prepares you for the weight of what you've been asking for. Think about the greatest victories in life. They all took time. A degree takes years, a career takes decades, a masterpiece takes countless revisions. Winners are not afraid of time. They respect it. They understand that every delay has a purpose, every season has a reason, and patience is the tool that aligns them with the right timing. Patience doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing the right things consistently without demanding immediate results. It means staying steady, staying committed, staying faithful, even when the reward hasn't shown up yet. Patience is part of the process, and the ones who endure it are the ones who win. There comes a moment in life when you have to stop waiting for someone else to fix it, stop pointing fingers, stop blaming the past, and start taking responsibility for your future. Winners don't wait for a savior. They step up and own their role in the outcome. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond, and that response is what shapes your destiny. Excuses are easy, but they're also expensive. Every excuse you hold on to costs you time, energy, and progress. Blame feels good in the moment because it takes the pressure off you, but it robs you of your power. Winners understand that as long as you keep blaming, you're handing over the keys to your own life. Responsibility means taking those keys back. Responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means everything is in your hands. It means you accept that while you may not have chosen the struggle, you can choose the strategy. You may not have chosen the pain, but you can choose the purpose. Winners don't let circumstances write the story. They pick up the pen and take authorship of their future. Owning responsibility also means holding yourself accountable to the standards you set. It means being honest about your effort, about your consistency, about your discipline. Winners don't just talk about what they want, they measure their actions against it. They don't hide behind excuses, they face the truth, and they adjust until they see progress. Taking responsibility is not glamorous. It means admitting when you're wrong, admitting when you've slacked off, admitting when you could have done more. That kind of honesty hurts, but it's the pain that produces growth. Losers hide from it, but winners embrace it because they know you can't fix what you refuse to face. When you own responsibility, you stop waiting for opportunity and start creating it. You stop wishing and start working. You stop relying on luck and start relying on effort. And in the process, you discover that you were never powerless. You just needed to reclaim control over your choices. Winners are not lucky, they are responsible. They are people who decided, I won't blame, I won't wait, I won't shrink, I will own my grind, own my growth, own my greatness. And it is that mindset that separates those who dream from those who win. The greatest danger to a winner is not failure, it's success. Because success has a way of making you comfortable, making you relax, making you think you've arrived. But winners know that the moment you stop being hungry is the moment you start losing ground. Hunger is the fire that keeps you moving forward, and without it, even the most talented person will eventually fade. Staying hungry means never allowing yesterday's victories to satisfy today's vision. You might have accomplished something great last year, last month, or even yesterday, but if you're still celebrating that while standing still, you're slipping backward. Winners are grateful for what they've achieved, but they refuse to let it make them complacent. Hunger is what makes you set bigger goals after you've already reached big ones. It's what makes you keep practicing after the crowd has stopped cheering. It's what keeps you sharp when others are dulling down. The hunger to grow, to improve, to reach higher, that's the engine of greatness. Most people stop too soon. They hit one milestone and settle. They achieve one dream and decide that's enough. But winners understand that there is always more inside them. They don't settle because they know settling kills potential. Hunger keeps them stretching, keeps them evolving, keeps them alive. Hunger isn't about greed, it's about growth. It's not about never being satisfied, it's about never being stagnant. Winners don't chase more because they're ungrateful. They chase more because they know they were created for more. Hunger makes you honor the gift you've been given by pushing it to its full capacity. Staying hungry also means surrounding yourself with challenges that demand your best. If everything around you is easy, you'll lose your edge. Winners stay in environments that sharpen them, that stretch them, that keep the hunger alive. They seek out mountains, not molehills, because mountains demand a hunger that mediocrity can't touch. When you stay hungry, you don't just survive, you thrive. You wake up each day with fire in your belly, with vision in your heart, with determination in your steps. Hunger keeps you fighting, keeps you striving, keeps you reaching, and it is that hunger that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Every winner has been knocked down. Every champion has faced rejection, failure, and disappointment. The difference is not that winners never fall, it's that they know how to turn a fall into a foundation. A setback is not the end of the road. It is a detour that redirects you to a better path. Winners don't just recover from setbacks, they use them as setups for something greater. When life pushes you back, it's easy to think you're losing ground. But sometimes the pushback is preparation. Just like an arrow must be pulled backward before it can launch forward, setbacks pull you into position for a greater release. If you change how you see the pullback, you'll realize you're not going backward, you're being aimed higher. Most people let setbacks define them. They take a failure and wear it as a label. They let a rejection convince them they'll never be chosen. But winners understand that failure is feedback, it's information, it's a classroom. Every loss teaches you how to win better next time. Turning setbacks into setups requires perspective. Instead of asking, well, why did this happen to me? Winners ask, what can this teach me? Where is this pointing me? How can this grow me? That shift in mindset changes the pain into purpose and the disappointment into direction. The truth is, some doors have to close so that new ones can open. Some relationships have to end so new ones can begin. Some opportunities have to fall apart so that better ones can be revealed. What looks like a loss in the moment is often a setup for the win you couldn't see yet. Winners don't waste their pain, they invest it. They take the lessons, the scars, the wisdom from the setback and use it as fuel to go further than before. They understand that the story isn't over just because one chapter was hard. The setback becomes part of the testimony that makes the victory even sweeter. When you learn to see setbacks as setups, you stop fearing failure. You stop dreading rejection. You stop panicking when plans fall apart. Instead, you start leaning into the truth that every obstacle can be turned into an opportunity if you refuse to quit and choose to see differently. Your mind is the battlefield where victories are first won or lost. Before you ever take action, before you ever step into the ring of life, the fight starts in your thoughts. If your mind is defeated, your body will follow. Winners understand this truth. You cannot live a winning life with a losing mindset. That's why protecting your mind is not optional, it's essential. Every day, thoughts are fighting for space in your head. Fear, doubt, insecurity, negativity, they're knocking on the door, trying to move in and take over. If you're not careful, you'll start rehearsing those lies until they sound like truth. Protecting your mind means guarding what you allow in, what you read, what you watch, what you listen to, and who you listen to. Your environment feeds your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your actions. If you feed your mind poison, don't be surprised when your life gets sick. But if you feed your mind strength, courage, vision, and hope, your life will start to reflect that power. Winners are intentional about their mental diet. They choose what builds them, not what breaks them. Protecting your mind also means challenging your own thoughts. Not every idea that pops into your head deserves your agreement. Just because a thought arrives doesn't mean it belongs to you. Winners learn how to separate the noise from the truth. They know how to say, that's doubt talking, that's fear speaking, but that's not who I am. A strong mind is like a shield. It keeps you steady when life throws its hardest hits. Problems will still come, but your perspective will protect you. Instead of panicking, you'll analyze. Instead of crumbling, you'll strategize. Instead of quitting, you'll keep standing because your mind has been trained to handle pressure. Discipline of the mind is what turns chaos into clarity. Winners meditate on vision. They focus on purpose. They rehearse strength instead of weakness. Protecting your mind doesn't happen once. It's a daily habit. It's a choice to reset, refocus, and remind yourself who you are and what you're capable of. When you protect your mind, you protect your future, because the life you build will never rise higher than the thoughts you believe. Winners know this, and that's why they treat their mind like tree azure, because everything they will ever accomplish starts there first. Winning is not something you do once, it's something you live every day. It's not just crossing the finish line in one race, it's how you train, how you think, how you carry yourself in every moment. Winners don't treat victory like an event, they treat it like an identity. Winning isn't about one achievement, it's about the standard you set for your entire life. A lifestyle of winning shows up in the small things long before the big moments. It's how you wake up in the morning, how you discipline yourself when no one's watching, how you handle challenges when they come. If you only try to win when the spotlight is on you, you'll never be ready for it. Winners live ready because their habits, their mindset, their choices, every detail reflects a lifestyle of winning. Winning is not perfection, it's persistence, it's resilience, it's getting back up every single time you fall, it's refusing to accept mediocrity as normal. Winners don't win because they never lose. They win because even in loss, they stay committed to the lifestyle of growth, discipline, and excellence. When winning becomes a lifestyle, it follows you into every area of your life. It's not just about your career or your dreams. It shows up in your relationships, in your health, in your finances, in your character. It becomes the way you talk, the way you think, the way you walk. You carry yourself differently when you've decided that winning isn't just what you do, it's who you are. People often think winners are made on the stage, but they're made in the shadows. They're made in the quiet decisions to stay consistent, in the hard choices to keep going when it would be easier to quit. That's where the lifestyle is built, out of sight, long before the results show up in public. A winning lifestyle also means refusing to compartmentalize your effort. You can't be lazy in one area of life and expect excellence to overflow into another. Winners raise the bar everywhere because they understand it's all connected. Discipline in one place strengthens discipline in another. When you decide that winning is a lifestyle, you stop chasing moments and start building momentum. You stop treating victory like a destination and start living it daily. And it is that commitment, day after day, choice after choice, that turns ordinary people into extraordinary winners.